All right, so the Las Vegas Raiders. I got to get used to saying that, but the Las Vegas Raiders defeat the New Orleans Saints 34-24 in a game that the Raiders completely dominated on, especially when it comes to time of possession. Time of possession, the Raiders completely dominated, holding the ball for over 36 minutes. They were pretty good in the run department, but also in the passing game too. They didn't have. I don't believe they had any turnovers in that particular department. I could be wrong about it, but I don't think they had any turnovers at all. Derek Carr, I thought, played a really, really good game. Darren Waller has pretty much shown why he's the best receiving tight end in all of football. No disrespect to George Kittle and Travis Kelce and Zach Ertz, but man, Darren Waller as a receiver coming out of Georgia Tech, this dude is an absolute stud as a receiver. And he definitely came clutch, especially him being practically the number one receiver for the Raiders. He was that guy. You saw former Buffalo Bills Zay Jones making plays out there. I know he had a touchdown catch as well. Former LSU player Foster Moreau was making plays out there, had a catch for 31 yards. The Raiders were just making plays. I know Henry Ruggs didn't have a phenomenal day, but he had an impact on the field, right? His speed was honestly the reason why they won this game because there were so many. There were, I think, a couple of holding calls. There were some holding calls, some pass interference calls against the Saints because they were that fear of that 4.27 speed that Henry Ruggs showed in display. And the biggest one was the fact that Janoris Jenkins, aka Rabbit, was holding him, which damn near set the Raiders up to winning this game, and of course having that field goal, which pretty much put the game away 34-24. So Henry Ruggs again was more of like a decoy than a guy that has had such a huge impact as far as receiving yards goes. He had that impact. It was just more as a decoy than a guy that had a bunch of receiving yards. But yeah, the Raiders dominated the time of possession. They made adjustments when it came to going into the second quarter. They made those adjustments. Remember, this team was down 0-10, and then at some point they were down 7-17. And the Raiders continue to fight back. They never quit. Again, this is a Saints team that capitalizes off of momentum. They really don't let a lot of teams back in the game once they're up by that amount, even if it's, some people say 10 points is not that much. But to the Saints, being up by 10 points, I mean, that's like an eternity if you're going against a team like the New Orleans Saints. I definitely think that for the New Orleans Saints, the loss of Michael Thomas was definitely on display tonight, guys. I mean, the loss of Michael Thomas tonight, not having that guy there, you can tell it had a big impact, especially on Drew Brees. Um, Now, you did have some players that stepped up, right? Guys like Traquan Smith, he stepped up a little bit there. Elvin Kamara is always very dangerous in the receiving game as well. But, besides that, there really weren't many other guys that, if you're a Raiders fan or if you're part of the Raiders coaching staff, you're not afraid of. You're not afraid of any of the other targets that the Saints had. So I felt like the Raiders were definitely a lot more aggressive, particularly in the second half. And, Drew Brees, even though statistically, right, he completed over 65% of his throws, you just knew that Drew Brees had an off night. You just knew that it was off for him. And, the balls weren't really, the touches on his passes really weren't there. Right, you saw some balls that were just floating up, and especially on the third down conversions, that's where the Saints really failed. They failed when it came to the third down conversions. And the Raiders capitalized off of it. The Raiders capitalized it by pretty much holding the ball, controlling the clock, and really dominating the time of possession. So again, the Saints had I think the Saints, I think they had one turnover. Really, I think Drew Brees threw the interception. I know there was a fumble. I knew there was a fumble by Kamara, but it was recovered by the Saints. It was really the Raiders that had a bunch of fumbles. Right, they had three fumbles. I mean, I think the only one that was lost was Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr lost the fumble. No, I'm sorry, the running back. It was a toss after Josh Jacobs got hurt. He lost the fumble. There was a couple other fumbles, but the Raiders luckily recovered it. So don't get on me in the comments about that. But um, you know, it was really the third down conversions that the Saints just couldn't capitalize, and the Raiders did capitalize off of third down conversions. Now, I think the difference was Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is that third down playmaker, that third down threat, and there really isn't anyone on that Saints roster. I mean, maybe besides Elvin Kamara that could be that guy as well. I mean, like I said, you got Hunter Renfrow that can make those plays on those third down conversions. You have Darren Waller. Zay Jones has proven so far that maybe he can be that guy as well. I think the Raiders just have other options, and then of course you have that speed, that vertical threat down the field in Henry Ruggs that can also be that crucial third down guy. So honestly, what helped the Raiders win this game was just the weapons. I feel like the weapons that they had. I feel like the running game too with Josh Jacobs, that ground and pound, that guy that's just going to run people over, that's going to get those 4 to 5 yards, those 4 to 5 yard chunks that can, he can continue to get the drives going, tire out the defense. I think it honestly helped. Now, the Saints, you know, it's going to be interesting if Michael Thomas continues to go out for a lot longer, right? What's going to be the Saints' game plan? Are they going to rely more on the run game, or are they just going to go back to what they are doing and trying to establish that passing game? Because the Saints, they're a pass-first football team. They're not a run-first football team. This is a pass-first football team. Now, they would love to have Mark Ingram there that could be that ground and pound guy. Then Alvin Kamara could be that second back that's also a receiving back, that's also a receiving option, a guy that you can line out wide in the slot or catching those balls in the backfield. But I think the Saints have to try to establish a run game. They got to get something going. Now, Kamara had 79 yards on 13 carries. I feel like they need to get him more involved in the run department. And so we'll see what Sean Payton does for that. But honestly, I feel like it was just the loss of Michael Thomas and the fact that the Saints really couldn't convert on those third downs, and the little time that they had when it came to time of possession. I felt like it just had an effect on that defense. The Raiders completely dominated the Saints when it came to time of possession, almost by 15 minutes. And yeah, the Raiders took advantage of all the opportunities that were just given to them. So yeah, the Raiders won this game, and that makes them 2-0. And we talk about that AFC West division with the Chargers, and you look at the Chiefs, and then you look at the Raiders, obviously what they're doing. I think the Broncos, I think, are still a very dangerous opponent. I feel like no one really should be sleeping on the Broncos. The Broncos can surprise too. So this is a very tough division. Even if the Broncos are out of it, let's just say they're out the race. It's the Raiders have shown that they can compete with anybody in the league. The Chargers, and then of course you saw with the Chiefs. Obviously with Patrick Mahomes there. So this is a very tough division. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, especially because this is a 17 playoff system now, right? It's not a 6-team anymore. It's a 17 playoff system. So, again, if you're a Raiders fan, you got to be excited for the future of your team. I think Derek Carr had a great game. Well, not a great game. I thought he had a good game. Darren Waller continues to prove that he's one of the best tight ends in all of football. And, I know a lot of people were down on John Gruden, including myself, but he's proved me wrong after winning this game against the Saints. Now, again, they're 2-0. The Raiders, it's only going to get harder for them. But I like the direction that they're going. And again, if you're a Raiders fan, you got to be pleased with this performance. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys, at least for today. Make sure to follow me on social media. My Twitter and my Instagram will be in the link below the description. And make sure to also subscribe, hit the notification bell, make sure to like the video, and also share the video, especially if you want more NFL content in the future. So anyway, guys, Gen716, make sure you guys have a safe night. Make sure you guys stay safe out there. I know we're going through some troubled times, but again, make sure you guys stay safe. And thank you guys for watching. Anyway, Gen716, aka Gen Sports. I'm out. Peace.